is your altar. And that is something very interesting because you are going to awake another kind of support. Usually the support is coming from money, from sex, from the material possess, the material things that you belong. And in that moment, your frequency have to be in another way. Otherwise, you don't have the experience, and also you don't have the platform to confirm yourself. Also, when you arrive to the guru, you have a sacred name, and that sacred name is related. I was speaking before with you. Is related with the 4 elements. When you start first to say ego in the water, it is related with your sacred name, and also in the Indian tradition, in the Hindu tradition, they have also, when you change the activity, they give it to you another name. Acharya, Hagadeva, Sachitananda, some names who is related with a special activity that you are doing. Then in this Nazarian boat, also you need to take care what are you going to do in every place. You know that you cannot be in any funeral, you cannot touch, you don't cut your beard, your head, the hair has to grow, and all of those things not is new. All of those things is related with the tradition that used to be with the Essenian, with the Druids, with the Celts, and with the Templaries, and those still rules are running. But if we start to study why those rules we have to achieve, you are going to understand that it's very important. How do you develop yourself without other support? The same when you start to have your yama. If you don't realize what is the meaning of the yama, then you don't take the care to do all of those things. For what do I am going to do gymnastics? For what do I am going to do yoga? And if you do all of those things like obligation, it doesn't work. It doesn't work the same. You have to have your. We have to have the will to do all of those things. Then. And we were speaking also that to awake the will, not is a tablet, not is a pillar, you have to training yourself to increase your will. Yesterday at night, we were sharing with Reverend Arbey and Sister Mindy about the activities that his children are doing. And I became very curious and very surprised that one of his daughters is doing a special job as a volunteer, that anarchy, socialist or something like that. I want that if Mindy share with us because I consider very interesting those things that your daughter is doing.
Well, I'll just share with the little I know of it because of what she shares with me, but social anarchy, have you heard of that? Mm-hmm. It's where you, it's part of the Freegan movement too. Have you heard of the Freegan movement? No. Okay. This is movements where everything is shared without money. Like for instance, she organizes a Freegan fair where you bring a piece of clothing that you don't use anymore, but it's still in good condition. That's your entrance. You bring that, and then anything you want there that you see that other people have brought, you can have for free. So it's a free sharing
It's an
of
exchange.
things. It's an exchange of things that people don't need, but other people can use. So they also like to get foods from like Whole Foods, the food that they throw out really. You know, the foods that are still good, like strawberries or celery. If there's one bad, they throw the whole thing out. So these people go to these stores and they get the food and they prepare it and they share it.
And also they provide it to the homeless, the people that need the food too.
That's something else. Every Saturday she goes in a place in Brooklyn and they gather this food that is collected free and they prepare vegan meals and they serve it to the homeless. So it's she's she lives in a dormitory and she's collected clothing from, you know, she puts a box and she makes a sign, anything that you don't need, this will go to the homeless. So she collects them and then they make a midnight run in the city, and I think especially in the winter, and she doesn't do the run, she collects the clothes, but some other people go in a van and they go around the city, and when they find homeless people, they offer them the clothing for free. Her idea that she can't understand is she sees buildings in the city that are for sale for years and years and years, and in the doorway homeless people sleep. So for her, the concept that these are empty buildings that are not being sold and that the homeless are sleeping in the doorway, it really touches her deeply. Why can't they just open the door and let these people stay there? So it's a kind of a thinking of not wasting, to be able to use the resources we have. When she goes to a store, she doesn't take a plastic bag. She'll say, I have hands. So she just takes the things in her hands. It's so funny. Her and her boyfriend, they had things in their hands. And they have to put the things down to tie their shoelace. I mean, they won't take a bag.
Oh my God.
So it's about not wasting and helping others, but without the use of money.
That is very, very interesting, because also you were asking me about the meaning of the degree. When you see in the police station that you have a boss, that you have different degrees, also in the army, in the society, we have different kind of degrees, and it doesn't mean that you have to have a cross, or it doesn't mean that you have to have a symbol. Your activity, your behavior says what kind of experience and what kind of training do you have. And when you see your daughter, she born like a yummy, and she doesn't have to be in a specific room that you say you are a yummy. With the behavior, with the activity that she is doing, is the new generation, that they don't need to go to Alcohólicos Anonymous, they don't need to go to jail or to prepare themselves, because we already arrived with some developing. Then all of those new generation are going to do his job better than we used to do. Also, we have our children doing some specific thing. We have one of our daughter, Miriam, and I want that Elena share with you what is she doing.
I always thought that our children, they have us doing things for being a better world. And I think that they really got into them. So I see my children, Miriam, more than the others. Now she's always, she belongs to some movement that they can do something to help. She's doing, when she was about 18, 17, she said, Mom, I would like to join the Peace Corps, the blue blue.
Line.
Greenpeace?
No, the blue.
Blue Angels.
No. For the ONU, the United Nations soldiers that they go into countries to help.
Mm.
The blue helmet.